always be my first love.
Hello, clearly emotional customer, finding it hard to say.
Yeah. It didn't happen.
It did happen. Why do they call Marcus Garvey a coward? The question there is continue.
Publicly criticize Haile Selassie and call him a coward for leaving Ethiopia and going into exile. Now stop right there, because this is where the conversation gets uncomfortable. How can a man become a symbol of African redemption on one hand and then become the target of one of the harshest criticism from the very man whose teaching helped create the expectation surrounding him? Was Garvey disappointed? Did Garvey expect a different kind of leadership? Did Selassie make the right decision by leaving to seek international support? Or did Garvey believe a leader should stand and fight beside his people no matter what the cost? These are not easy questions, but they are very important questions, because history is not made up of superheroes and villains. No, history is made up of human beings, simple people like me and you. And sometimes our heroes disagree and challenge each other. And sometimes they force us to think deeper than what we've been told. How do you reconcile Marcus Garvey's influence on the movement that embraced Haile Selassie with Marcus Garvey's later criticism of Haile Selassie? What does that teach us about leadership? And what does that teach us about the importance of asking difficult questions? Drop your thoughts below, drop your comment, and let's have an intellectual conversation. I am Peter Gracie, Jamaica's conversational poet. Let's have the conversation. Did you know that, man?
The real world live in vibration. Man can't escape him conscience. No matter how high Babylon wall build, I see true illusion. Vinyl crackle. Tapes, distant thunder.
There goes the words of a man that says Marcus Garvey called Haile Selassie a coward.
Even behind Babylon wall.
We're going to seek more in that information for the massive, I tell you.
Concrete jungle swallow the poor man cry. Grey city smoke over up the sky. Babylon soldier walk with evil eye. Youth man hungry while the ministers lie. Me hear siren echo through the lane. Mothers wipe tears like tropical rain. Politician feast while the people feel pain. Yet them still can't change a name. Iron gate cool like judgment day. Corrupt authority black everywhere. But the scriptures say truth can't decay. So the righteous stand firm and pray. From Trenchtown corner to the prison yard. So far as life always brutally hard, still me carry Psalms close to me heart. Because Jah light never depart. I am a prisoner of the city wall. Babylon system wants see I fall, but Jah kingdom greater than them all. Rastaman spirit can crawl. Prisoner of the city wall. Hear the sufferer, children call. One day Babylon must fall, and Zion rise above it all. Helicopter circle pan the midnight zone. Police jeep pass with the militant tone. Poor man dead and them leave him alone. While corruption sit upon golden throne. Them build high wall to divide the weak, but righteousness stronger than the concrete. Every hungry youth just still a feed. Even when Babylon plant bad seed. Me read Revelation in the candlelight. See beast system hidden in a plain sight. False prophet disguise themselves as right, while the innocent can't sleep at night. The preacher showed freedom through the bassline sound. Now you bring the drum, shake the battleground. Truth and justice the sound. I am a prisoner of the city wall. Babylon system was see I fall, but your kingdom greater than them all. Rastaman spirit can't cry. Prisoner of the city wall. Hear the sufferer, children call. One day Babylon must fall, and Zion rise above it all. Missy greedy men trade souls for fame. Big shiny office, but them heart full of shame. Television profit manipulate the game, yet them can't erase Jah holy name. Youth man trapped in a endless cycle. Babylon doctrine psychologically vital, but Marcus words still remain vital. Truth sharper than the tribal rifle. Mama pray softly beside the stove, as the city wolves outside still roam. Still she trust in Jah, but knowing righteousness stronger than hate and show. Every brick in the wall I go crack. Every hidden corruption expose and collapse, because divine judgment soon attack, and Babylon power can't come back. Heavy spring reverb. Free the mind, free the soul. Free the mind, free the soul. Babylon wall I go crumble. Your children shall survive. I am a prisoner of the city wall. Still me answer Jah when him call. Though Babylon kingdom mighty and tall, righteous fire I go burn them all. Prisoner of the city wall. Hear the ancient prophets call. Beyond corruption and concrete wall, Zion waiting for us all. Tape slowing down. Final dust distant. Naya bingy drums. City wall can't stop prophecy. Jah live forever.
Yeah, man, I tell you.
Yeah. Got carried away with that one right now. I'm just looking at my profile on my screen here right now. Oh, you mean looking looking good, I tell you for a fact, all good. Prison walls and the sounds of scratch records. And many things happening amongst many people in terms of what life has brought to their table as we move into hard times. I'm going through some information about certain things in terms of the car that you drive and how you drive your car. There are also new rules for car drivers out there. If I get time, I can play that for you in a little while. But if you're sitting on the YouTube or on your platform, they will give you some details and information about how certain cars are being ruled in and out of certain situations in terms of parking, etc. If you're being caught parked on double yellow lines, you're not going to know if you're being booked, because they're using cameras now. They're using AI to find out information and details about various things that you and I don't see on a regular basis. So you might get yourself a ticket for something, not knowing that it's being done because they've got the camera to catch you, and they got the photos to prove that it was your car in a certain place that shouldn't be there at a certain time. So when you do lend your cars out to other people to drive, be aware. Make sure you write down the time and the whatever, because you might get a ticket for something that you don't know nothing about, and the person you lent the car to drive ain't gonna tell you they got booked or they went through some red lights or the camera's looking from somewhere else. Ever been on the motorway and sometimes they've got those lights flashing on the opposite side of the road? You know, someone's being caught speeding and gone over the speed limit on the motorway, and by the time you spin around, a few weeks gone past, you get a ticket saying that you've been through this light at certain speed and so forth. You'll be charged how much points, and also if you want to go to one of those sittings for 4 hours to tell you basically you ain't supposed to do this or that, but you still got to pay the fine, but you won't get no points on your license. Have you ever been down that road? Have you ever been down that road? I've been down that road just once, and never did it again. Not good. But all right, so Gonna play this song right now. Shout out to everybody in tune this afternoon. It's a mild day outside. It's not hot. It's not cold. It's kind of cool. I've been outside this morning, and yeah, it's pretty good outside. So I'll probably get the lawnmower out after I finish, and just give it a little trim up and thing and fix up and. Yeah, but if you've got other things planned to do outside, do them as quick as you can, because the weather for this week isn't very good. It isn't very nice like last week. For those who went through the thunder and the lightning and the storm, a few people I spoke to said they'd never seen it, they never heard the thing. They were out for the count. But apparently at that time for me, I was driving on the motorway, and it was like I could see the skies lighting up with all this lightning and so forth. And I was kind of concerned about myself in terms of, I'm going to try and get home as quick as I can because I don't want no lightning licking my car and all these things. But, lucky enough, we got back safe and sound. Yeah, we got back safe and sound. So like I said before, shouting out to, of course, the Jarrow family. Big up yourself, doing wonders for the community of Wolverhampton. You must say, come on, Wolverhampton. Jarrow. I'm not saying because of the fact I'm good friends with Jarrow. You can see the evidence. You can feel the evidence. You can feel the energy within the sound Jarrow. And much as there are other sounds in Wolverhampton, I'm not going to say it's a tall order to catch Jarrow right now, but you know what I'm saying? You can make it if you try. So all the other sounds out there, try your best to put your best foot forward and be on that level as well. But at the moment, in the lead right now, is the sounds of Jarrow. I want you to take a listen to this right now. Yeah, man. Right now? Yes, right now. All right.
Once upon a time, a voice that did not speak.
It's all about the voice of a man called Mr. Burning Spear. Take a listen to the history on this one.
To transmit. To never.
Can I say shouting out to my two engineers, big up on yourself right now, you mean?
Burning spear. Burning spear. Africa speaks through you. Winston Rodney is born March 1st, 1945 in St. Ann's Bay, Jamaica, the same land as Bob Marley, a rough land where childhood does not dream, it survives in a humble family where each day is built by hand, and already something is watching within him, a direction without yet a path. One day he walks without knowing where to go. Then he runs straight to Bob Marley. A simple meeting, almost ordinary, but decisive. Bob, with a fork in his hand, tells him about Studio One, and everything begins there, not with fame, with a door. At Studio One, he records his first albums, presenting Rockin' Time. Raw works, still considered today among the most roots reggae ever created. But Burning Spear does not seek success, he seeks meaning. Burning Spear, Burning Spear.
Shout out to all the Burning Spear families and friends. I tell you for a fact, you know this man sings some serious songs, you know.
Burning Spear. He chooses the name Burning Spear.
I was going through some vinyls this morning, looking for some vinyls, certain times, and I kept on putting out Burning Spear's albums after. Vinyls, LP style, Burning Spear. We're going to go through them in the vinyl section at the end of the month right now. But take a listen to the story and how Burning Spear got through
To never forget where
with his music.
Burning Spear. Burning Spear. Africa speaks through you. Winston Rodney is born March 1st, 1945 in St. Ann's Bay, Jamaica, the same land as Bob Marley, a rough land where childhood does not dream, it survives in a humble family where each day is.
Gotta say good afternoon, good night to my good friends and my friends.
Something is watching within it.
On holiday, I tell you for a fact.
Direction.
In the lounge in Birmingham, watching me on the YouTube. Maximum respect to you, ladies. How you mean?
One day he walks without knowing where to go. Then he runs straight to Bob Marley. A simple meeting, almost ordinary.
Ladies, have a good time, all right?
But
Shout out to Cheryl, my wife, also as well, Frank, Kate, as well, Kitty. I tell you,
And everything begins there,
have a good time.
not with fame.
And don't forget, when you get there, report to me.
Studio One. He records his first albums, presenting Rockin' Time. Raw works, still considered today among the most roots reggae ever created. But Burning Spear does not seek success, he seeks meaning. Burning Spear, Burning Spear, carve lines in your vibe. Burning Spears, in your fire. Burning Spear.
In this particular area here, you can see a picture there up on the back there of Sir Christopher. Little later on, we talked to the daughter, Jackie Morgan, little later on, about her father and the sound system and the love that he gave to the town of Wolverhampton to the very end.
It speaks of the people, of their roots, of their history, and above all, Marcus Garvey, whom he honors where few dare to do so. The years pass, but he does not change.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. I mean, stand by.
From Studio One to Island Records, from the film rockers.
How did I find this one? How did I find this? How did I find this? Well, I didn't have this at all in my mind to play this right now, but I was having breakfast this morning after my run, and this popped up on my phone and says, yo.
2002, with his wife Sonia, he creates his own label, Burning Spear Records, because some men end up belonging only to themselves. Spear.
Burning Spear.
Burning Spear.
Last week we played you John Holt's story. What a story. It was a very, very sad story. And we didn't get to the end of that story neither. We didn't get to the end of that story.
Today, Burning Spear is still here, still standing, still carrying an intact message.
Gonna say good afternoon to go out to you, Matches. Big up yourself. For you mean? Big tune up here. Big tune up here. Yeah, man. Big tune up
Do
here.
not age. They root deeper. Burning Spear. Burning Spear.
Godfather and keeping it real short because the status conversation Bonnie General I tell him everything nice. Listen, big music I play.
Once upon a time.
Here comes the sounds of the voice of the story of the Israel vibration here right now. Take a listen to this. 3 soldiers. Listen up, my people.
Polio had taken the strength of their legs, but never the strength of their spirit.
Oh, we say, come again, come again, come again.
Once upon a time, in Kingston, Jamaica, 3 young souls carried a burden heavier than most. Polio had taken the strength of their legs, but never the strength of their spirit. In the quiet yard of Mona Rehabilitation, three voices found each other. Lascelles Wis Bulgin, Cecil Skelly Spence, Albert Apple Gabriel Craig. They did not know it yet, but together they would create one of the most powerful harmonies in the history of roots reggae. Their name would travel across oceans and generations. Israel Vibration. They turned suffering into harmony through the roots of reggae. Their voices began to rise. Songs of faith, songs of struggle, songs of hope for the sufferers of the world. They did not sing for fame, they sang for survival, for the forgotten children, for the faithful hearts, for the ones still searching for light. Israel Vibration, voices of roots reggae. Israel Vibration, strength beyond the body. Israel Vibration, a harmony traveling the world. Israel Vibration, a message for generations. With crutches beside them and courage inside them, they stepped onto the stage and the world listened. Israel Vibration, voices of strength and faith. Israel Vibration, roots rising through the pain. Israel Vibration, songs of hope and liberation.
Of course, the sounds of the story of Israel Vibration.
Because
This is taken from a vintage kind of history music, where once upon a time you would read the information about these characters we're playing right now, but they put them in music terms so you can listen to their songs more in music terms.
and somewhere tonight, under the same stars, the vibration.
We're going to play one from the sounds of Bob Marley. I want you to take a listen to this here right now. Bob Marley. 12:22 here on scannerradio.org.uk in the afternoon. Also shouting out to saplay.org and the YouTube. We're live on the YouTube right now, my people. Big up yourselves. In the next couple of minutes, half an hour or so, we go straight to the live call to the interview. Here's one from Bob Marley, the story of Bob Marley.
Barefoot prophet from the islands, carrying songs like morning rain. You did not fight with noise or anger. He let love dissolve the pain.
He sang of freedom without hatred. He spoke of justice without fear. And every word he left behind still feels alive and near.
He said love was stronger than fear.
He said truth would outlive the storm.
Bob, your seed still grow.
In the hearts that choose the light,
Bob, your seed still grow
in the soul of my soul.
Not a crown upon your head, but a halo made of sound. You planted courage in the soil, now it rises from the ground.
Across the oceans and the borders, across the color and the name, the rhythm carries something deeper, more than memory or fame.
He said love was stronger than fear.
He said truth would outlive the storm.
Bob, your seed still grow.
In the hearts that choose a light,
Bob, your seed still grow.
through the longest night.
No brave can silence melody.
No shadow dims the flame.
The roots remain beneath our feet.
Whisper still your name.
Bob, your seed still grow.
Like a river running slow.
Bob, your seed still grow.
What you help to sow.
The roots remain. The light goes on.
Fade with bass and echo. Fade with bass and echo.
Sounds of a mix of Bob Marley and many more as well. We can play you Garnet Silk, we can play you Michael Rose, we could play you enough other people in this segment here, even the voice of the man called Mr. Prince Forai on that one right now. Okay, right, so of course something different. Every week is a different kind of profile in terms of what we give and what we say we're going to do and what we want to play for the people. Some agree, some disagree. That's the way it goes sometimes. We just try to do our best to make sure that we can cater for all those who are listening from all walks of life, because every walks of life has got a different taste of music and draw in terms of information and detail. All right, so we're gonna do something a little way different again, as we always do on a Sunday. Like I said, big shout out to those in tune. Like I said to you before, that of course changes are gonna come, and even those in our category of big people and the elders, changes in your pension also as well. And in terms of pension changes, go onto the YouTube and type in pension changes for the month of June, and there's a few things popping up. Big shout out to those who sent me information and details on that. Interesting. Not all of it is part of everybody's position. Some people may have it already. Some people are not aware of it. Some people might lose out if they don't get involved. So I want to find that site for you in a short while and let you know what site to look for. Not just music, but information and details in terms of correspondence for the people who want to know a little bit more about something more that we also venture in, not just the regular music, but also information and details. And we do that here right now, here on scottaradio.org.uk. All right, so like I said before, 1 o'clock, we speak to Jackie Morgan, and not long to go for that. Big shout once again going out to the Nashi family. Shout going out to you, Matches. Big up yourself. And also shout going out as well, going out to Barry also. I think we're gonna run. Can we run this? We can run this track while we speak to. All right.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Again. Sure. Yeah. Is it echoing now?
Hold on then. Let me check it one more time and then I'll text you.
No.
It's echoing though. I'm pretty sure it's echoing. So I'll put it on my TV now. So you see it echoes on the TV. On my phone. Still went to the last week. You don't want that. Just tell them, man. Okay, I'm telling people to listen to it, man. I want the echoing, man.
George Nooks, and you're in tune to the Godfather. Keep it real. Hi, this is George Nooks, and you're in tune to the Godfather. Keep it real.
They have the sounds of some songs from the sounds of Rudy from the album, of course. Great instrumental. We have got more songs like that. That was also Moody's for Sir Christopher. We're going to play a song for the younger, not much the young ones, but back in the days, it was for us, the young ones, for us, we played this one. Of course, take a listen to this here. ScholarRadio.org.uk, another classic here right now, all right? So, yeah, man, take a listen to this right now.
Shine on, shining star.
Yeah, man, the sounds of Rising Star. You're my angel, my life, my love. Sunday afternoon here, ScholarRadio.org.uk. And of course, saplay.org. Yeah, man.
Honey, you, oh, my shining star, and don't you go away. Oh, baby, I wanna be right here where you are until my dying day.
You remember the good times, the good days?
So many have tried.
Sounds of Eddie Lovett on this one.
Love like yours and mine.
One more time for the elders right now. This one, your song, your time. Shouting out to my good friend Bantam B. Good afternoon to yourself. Shout out to Mr. Fix as well. Oh, yeah, mean. Good afternoon, good night to Lover's Doctor. And don't forget today at the, of course, Heritage Center today, the usual UBA market for all those who want to buy some products and stuff. Yeah, man, it's on today. All right, don't forget.
So many have tried to find a love like yours and mine. Girl, don't you realize how you hypnotize? Make me love you more each time. Honey, I'll never leave you lonely. I give my love to you only. To you only. To you only. Honey, you. Oh, my shining star. And don't you go away. Oh, baby. I wanna be right here where you are until my dying day. It feels so good when we're lying next to each other, lost in love. Baby, when we touch, I love you so much. Make me love you more each time. Honey, I will never leave you alone.
Gotta say, shouting out to, of course, Mark Lynch. Big up yourself, so good afternoon. Looking good. I just received your message right now.
To you only, to you only. You know that I want you.
Shout out to your team as well. Shout out to your wife also as well. Shout out to mommy, Mrs. Lynch. Oh, yeah, man. Shout going out to Sharon as well.
And don't you ever go away. I wanna be right here where you are. You turn me on when we're lying next to each other, lost in love. Honey, you, honey, oh my shining star. You are the one I've been searching for, oh, every day.
Okay, here's one particular event to look out for. It's going to be quite interesting for many people out there. Mr. and Mrs. Vinyl. Mr. and Mrs. Vinyl. And we hope to have an interview with the person behind this event. In terms of Mr. and Mrs. Vinyl. Now, in terms of Mr. and Mrs. Vinyl, this must be based on the fact that we're coming from the vinyl era. And of course, we're looking for Mr. and Mrs. If it was Mr. and Mrs. CD or Mr. and Mrs. USB, then we did something different. But it's, of course, vinyl. That's going to take place very soon as well on the 11th of July next month. So we see if we can get some correspondence with the person behind the scenes just to work out how things go and how it's something different, something new, so something to look forward to as well. And don't forget, in terms of the bank as well, tribute to John Holt, as we played something from John Holt last week. And someone requested the information details I played last week, and no problem, I'll send it to you a little later on today. All right, so that's Mr. and Mrs. Vinyl. Look up for further information on that. And on the 11th of July next month, it comes to you at that time. It looks pretty good. I think they're using a different room in the actual casino. I don't think it's going to be downstairs in the basement like it used to be, because it's a bit too small, and because it's kind of warm outside as well. People are not going to be wanting to go into a small area where they'll get sticky and drenched with sweat and all these things. It's too hot. You got to get that fanning away, and it's too warm, and the air conditioner ain't working properly, and all these excuses as well. All right, so one to look out for that I do like to go to as well. We've had him on the show 3 times. 3 times on the show during COVID time with Zaza and myself. We talk about the man called Bushman. All right, it's going to be in Birmingham as well. So that's something to look out for on the 24th of July. Bushman comes to Birmingham. Yeah, man, I think I'm gonna. It's a Friday. I think it's a Friday night. So I think I can make it. I can make it. Well, all right. So let's play another song from the album itself. Let's see if we can flick it over and see if we play another song from the album. It seems like when it comes to my albums, I know my albums better than I know my CDs, my people. Yes, my people, I do. Well, all right. So here goes another track right now. One for your moms and dads and the youngsters on this one. The days of spinning around and holding hands and, those things. But all right. Can I say shout out to my viewers? Big up yourself if you can hear me loud and clear, enough respect.
Sail on down the line, a half a mile or so. I don't really want to know where you're going. Maybe once or twice, time after time I try to hold on to what we got. But now you're going. I don't mind about the things you're gonna say, Lord. I gave all my money and my time. I know it's a shame, but I'm giving you back your name. I'll be on my way. I won't be back to stay. I guess I'll move along. I'm looking for a good time.
A good time. Let me play this one back for the man myself. Love to play this one, but I'm going to sing I'm going to Father Rooster on his belated birthday. Big up yourself, sir. Oh, you mean, give you a call later on. And also shouting out to DJ Sensi. Good show yesterday morning. Oh, you mean, brother? Good. It's all good.
Sail on down the line, a half a mile or so. I don't really want to know where you're going. Maybe once or twice, time after time I try to hold on to what we got. But now you're going. I don't mind about the things you're gonna say, Lord. I gave all my money and my time. It's a shame, but I'm giving you back your name. I'll be on my way. I won't be back to stay. I guess I'll move along. I'm looking for a good time. Sail on down the line. Funny how the time can go. A friend say they told me so. It doesn't matter. It was plain to see. A small town boy lot to say. Won't you please just go away? I'm throwing away the blues. I'm tired of being used. I want everyone to know I'm looking for a good time. Good time. Oh, sail on, honey. A good time never felt so good. Sail on, honey. A good time never felt so good. Sail on, honey. Sail on, sugar.
Times never felt so good on this one. Eddie Lovett. Of course, some great songs being played this afternoon. Revival style. Like I said, I seem to know my vinyls more than I know my USBs and everything else, because you can just touch something, see something, and say, I'm going to play this, I'm going to play that. So this is what I did just the other night, going through some songs, and I love the way the sound is. It's more warmer when you take your albums out. You can look at the track and look at the song and say, I'm going to play this one. Going out to all the single girls out there, single ladies, this one's yours right now. Pick up yourself if you're at home by yourself or you're in the kitchen with the children, doing what mom does best on a Sunday.
Nobody loves me, 'cause nobody knows me. Nobody takes the time to go slowly. A sweet loving girl needs a sweet loving man to lean on. I'm a single girl, wondering about 'cause he is passing me by. I'm a single girl, and I know all of the men and their lies. Nobody loves me, 'cause nobody knows me. Nobody takes the time to go slowly. A sweet loving girl needs a sweet loving man to lean on. I've got to make my own way on this thing. What I've got to say, I need a lot of love to get me through the day. I'm a single girl, all alone in this great big world. I'm a single girl, and I know all of the men and their lives. Nobody loves me, 'cause nobody knows me. Nobody takes the time to go slowly. A sweet loving girl needs a sweet loving man to lean on. I'm a single girl, wondering about 'cause he is passing me by.
Sounds of T.T. Ross. A lady had done a lot of songs back in them days for many of your moms and dads. I don't know if anybody saw the program last night about Redditch, about the center that they had, and it had closed, I think it was 2016 or 2000, 2006. It had been closed for a long, long time. And the only place that you could go to have parties and funerals and dances and entertainment. Shouting out to the lady, talked about her father called Shanti, and a good program to watch. I don't know if any of you caught that, but it was a good show yesterday, and I caught it comfortably in my lounge, and I said, wow, some great history out there that many of us have seen and not seen for a long, long time. And going back to the good old days of the Culture Center in Wolverhampton, those were good days, them days.
But you will let me love you. Say you wanna be kissed. How long I've been wanting to hold you tight, squeeze you right in the middle of the night. For me, it's crying out. Sometimes feels too shy.
ST, I'll tell you about the sounds of TT Ross. This one, see if I can find her. See if we can get her up here and have a chat with her. If I can. It's a long throw, that one is, I tell you. TT Ross, I tell you, love song Sunday afternoon here. Revival style.
You wanna be loved, but you will let me love you. Say you wanna be kissed. How long I've been wanting to hold you tight, squeeze you right in the middle of the night. For me, it's crying out. Sometimes feels too shy. You wake up in the morning, feeling so
How do I like my love? Of course, once again, sounds of T.T. Ross. Well, we're coming to the time of 1 o'clock here right now this afternoon. And shout to all those in tune, of course. And we're going to talk to Jackie Morgan in a short while. Before we do that, just to remind you, those who tend to go out on a weekend, I know most of you go out on a Saturday, but you also got your Sunday people who go out on a Sunday as well. And of course, don't forget Liquor later on tonight in Birmingham. We have our very own Cosmic, of course, Daddy C live at the 163 Lounge. Liquor later on tonight as well. It's free before 9, and after 9 o'clock it's £2. So you might say, okay, why the £2? But remember, for things to keep going and to keep operating with some good DJs and to have the best of the best within the facilities of 163, we have to have a charge to help the promoters and everybody else have a good time. I don't see nothing wrong with that at all, do you? I don't see nothing wrong. So don't forget tonight, of course, 163 Lounge. And before we get to the interview, let me just rub this right now.
Final Sundays! Sundays, each and every Sunday at 163 Lounge, formerly known as Elegant Room, 163 Reservoir Road, Erdington, Birmingham, B2360N.
Vinyl Sunday. Party Vibes Special, Sunday the 7th of June 2026, Birmingham, massive. Get ready for a night packed with good vibes, great people, and non-stop entertainment as Vinyl Sunday returns to bring the party atmosphere you know and love. If you are looking for somewhere to unwind, dance, socialize, and enjoy real music, then this is where you need to be. 163 Lounge, 163 Reservoir Road, Birmingham, B236DN. Taking care of the musical duties on the night will be Birmingham's own Ras, Ira, alongside Cosmic from Wolverhampton, bringing a fantastic blend of tunes and pure party energy from start to finish. Expect a musical journey through soul classics, lovers rock and reggae, revival favorites, rare groove anthems, old school R&B, feel-good party vibes all night long. From the moment you walk through the doors, you'll be greeted by a friendly atmosphere, smiling faces, and the sweet sound of vinyl spinning on the turntables. The music will keep flowing, the dance floor will stay lively, and the vibes will be second to none. Whether you are celebrating a special occasion, linking up with friends, or simply looking for a great Sunday night out, Vinyl Sunday delivers every time. Come ready to sing along, dance, laugh, and make memories with like-minded people who appreciate good music and good company. Free entry before 9 p.m. only. £2 after 9 p.m. Make sure you roll out early and catch the vibes from the start, because once the party gets going, nobody will want to leave. Good music, good people, great atmosphere, pure party vibes. Vinyl Sunday, the ultimate Sunday night link-up. Taking care of the musical duties on the night will be Birmingham's own Ras, Ira, alongside Cosmic from Wolverhampton, bringing a fantastic blend of tunes and pure party energy from start to finish.
Yeah, man, I tell you.
163 Lounge, little later on tonight, of course. Daddy C and also Ross Iron as well together. Two top DJs from different parts of the Midlands, Wolverhampton, and also Birmingham. So it's going to be a good night tonight. Daddy C, the man who knows his music very, very well. So big up all those in tune here right now. All right, the time now is 5 minutes past One, if you're live on the social media, we're having a little technical issue. We're trying to work it out what's happening. We had a test this week, but it seemed to be okay. I don't know. But seems like we're still having that problem right now. Well, okay, so we're going to go straight to the phone lines and give the lady a call herself. Sounds of Jackie Morgan. We're going to talk to her about the fact that we've had some great times with this man right now, as we call him, Sir Christopher, the man behind many things that has happened throughout the whole of Wolverhampton, and made himself a popular sound man in his time with many of his friends, part of the sound as well. And he has enough respect for all the other sounds around England. And of course, he has done pretty well in his time in entertaining the likes of your mom and dad and your great grandparents, and things that's gone on throughout his time. And we're gonna see if we can hook up Jackie right now and see what's going on the other side on this phone right now. Okay, she's there. Okay, so we're gonna speak to Jackie.
607 ready.
Good afternoon, Jackie.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to ScanlandRadio.org.uk. Thank you for finding the time to join us. As you know that we're going to talk about your father, who was a great person in the town of Wolverhampton for his sound system, and a man well loved amongst many of the sound men around Wolverhampton and also Birmingham and also the UK. Now, Jackie, you as one of the children, you're not the only one as a girl child who was around the sound. Give us a couple of names of your sisters, please.
Okay. Good afternoon again and welcome, and thank you for asking. I have my younger sisters, Claudine, Carol. I have another sister in Birmingham, Anika, but she wasn't around at the time. And I have a deceased sister, Angelique, who was around that time as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now your brothers, I was hoping to have them. I was hoping to have them up today, but obviously they're kind of busy right now, so we're not going to interrupt them any further. But you have played a big part in your dad's memory. But in terms of memory, what memories do you have in terms of how he sort of brought you up around the sound system? Because when you first saw the sound, what was your thoughts about your dad's sound system?
Well, at first, because I was quite young at the time, Godfather, I wasn't aware of what was going on more than, you saw it as parties, you know what I mean? And because, as my mum would say, he was out and about building his empire, we hardly saw him. But I have memories of the van, like a blue and white van, flashbacks of that. Getting my brothers up or out to come and help push the van when it broke down. I have fond memories of the house being full with people, buzz, like a community, like as we say, it took a village to raise a child. We all knew one another. Parents knew, us, and come to the house and they'd stop over or sleep over. It was good times, good vibes, good memories,
He also had a style of his own that not many people in Wolverhampton could have followed. And of course, when he bought the sound from Birmingham,
yes.
it was quite a big sound as well, and a very popular sound, because that sound itself from Birmingham was locked down for quite a number of years because of the style that sound had.
Absolutely. Sorry, go on.
Give some information about what you knew about that.
Yeah, well, I had to do some research, if I'm being totally honest with you, to find out, the history. He brought the sound from what's his name again? Duke Sonny.
Right.
Duke Sonny sound was the top sound in Birmingham at the time, and Dad my mum used to go and listen to him. And he brought the sound off him, and then, gave his job up and said, right, this is my thing now. This is what I'm going to invest my time and energy in to, put food on the table, to, make a name for himself, and as a pioneer as one of the main foundation man, started the sound, and was with I think Coxon was the top sound in London at the time, and he was like the top sound in Wolverhampton and Birmingham. And I was told that it got so popular, and it was at the height, at the height of his career. The sound had to play in two, sometimes like double bookings, and the sound was split. So you'd have half the sound playing in Birmingham, half the sound playing in Wolverhampton, and you had like man like Ray, Colin Palmer, who sent me a lovely voice message to remind me of those days and how crisp the sound was and methodical, and how the music and the selectors and the DJs and how it was put together to make it quite popular at that time, and to bring the community together for fun and enjoyment, bringing the history from Jamaica, because he was also from a musical family himself, with his dad, my granddad, having his own kind of sound, music, and making money from parties and the clubs. So he brought that over, to England in the Windrush time, and to make sure that, we had, that kind of enjoyment, because, at that time it was difficult to have places of your home. It's your own, a club, so the house parties rule the waves and the areas across the country, in actual fact,
Yeah. Now, let me ask you a question. You just mentioned the Windrush. Was your father part of the Windrush when he came over first?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's their time, the 60s, late 50s, 60s. He was obviously one of those that kind of generation, along with my grandmother and mum, came before him, and he came and then sent for my mom and so forth.
Okay, and I know when it comes to fathers and daughters, they tend to talk a lot about things that they've done, and the history behind your father. It must have been so popular for you to be able to, watch your father do the things that he's done. And I would have loved to have your brothers to sort of put more input into the conversation in terms of the sound, because we were trying to find some pictures of the sound itself, but we only got memories.
Yeah.
I've only got memories.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've got their memories to share as well, and I have to start with the fact that they went to more dances than me. But the first time that I knew and kind of understood what my dad was doing was when my friends, my sister at school, they were 2 years older than me, and they would say to me, I remember one day they came to me, Jackie, we are going to your dad dance weekend. Yeah, I come. And say, what? And I'm like about 13, and I was like, I won't be able to come. This is what, go and ask your dad. It's a trip to Northampton. And I remember dad was playing, it was Shaka, Soprano B, and there was another sound, and I was asking Andrew if he remembers. Andrew said it was there, the song you broke down, I never test the song. But anyway, that was my first experience of going to one of my dad's dance, and he made that happen by telling my mom, asking my mom on my behalf to let me go. Mom said, she's too young, she can't go, she had 13, I'm not they're not going to let her in. And Dad give her money and says, go buy shoes, high heel shoes, and fix up her hair and make she look like Big Smaddy, she can't come. You get me? And I remember going to that dance, back in the day when we had coach trips,
Yeah.
And my sister and them gone and come for the coach with two outfits, and me look upon them, I'm like, what? I'm not ready for this. You know what I mean? And me put up in high heels and pencil skirt, not dressed for no party, no dance. It was the most uncomfortable night, I remember, but it was just taking in all the scene and what was happening around that time as a young teenager.
Now, as you talk about yourself and going to those events, there were a lot of people throughout Wolverhampton that sort of admire your father for the fact that he had a sound that could represent Wolverhampton. Yeah. Of course, we've had other big sounds over the years from Wolverhampton representing at the time in different decades. Yeah. His decade was the first real Windrush decade, I would put it that way. Amongst many of those from the West Bromwich, and I've spoken to many sound systems throughout this program, and they always mention Sir Christopher. Now, on the time when the passing of Sir Christopher, we had that night in Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
We spoke to Lloydie Coxon, and of course, it was a tribute to Sir Christopher, and what a tribute it was that Coxon gave your father.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. And I don't know if many people are aware of that. They can get that on the YouTube on the Godfather's platform. Of course, Coxsone talks about
Yes.
Christopher, and it was Christopher
Yes.
that basically made him come back into the Midlands after Coxsone's bad memory of what happened to him when he was down there last time. And it was Christopher who brought him back to the Midlands, talked amongst many of the big sound systems. So let's say, let's make peace and no war. And that's how Coxsone came back into the town.
Yeah.
When you heard about that, what was your prided moment about that your dad had such an influence on all the sound systems in the UK?
Well, you see, Dad was kind of like a peacemaker. He brought people together. He was a community man. You know, like them days there, I watched my dad argue and fall out with people, and them tell them BC and whatever. Then the week after, they would be making up, buy a drink and chat about it, and it done. Do you know what I mean? So he was all about business. He's a businessman. Do you know what I mean? A leader, a role model to kind of show them the way if they lost their way, if so to speak. And as I said to you, the sound was so big in those times. I mean, I didn't even realize that the sound boxes had names. do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So so you had other man like not just Coxsone, but like Mafia Tone, and that name, a box was MT, belonged to Mafia Tone, and then it had a box called Thunderbird, and they had another box called House of Joy. My mum was telling me one big old box that people would have to carry and remember, and also to carry weight on. So Coxsone knew the weight of his sound. You understand me? And what it represents and what it stood for. So therefore, it's honor, it's respect. Is the fact that, he would bring it back and also, well, boy, man, I could try and make a money. We make a money, we do a thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
of course.
It told it that way to make it into, something that you're going to get something out of it. You're going to make a life. You're going to have a profession. And he was always employing people and getting people to do things, and make something of their life.
In terms of all the the other big sounds, like for instance, we mentioned Coxsone, Shaka, and Quaker, and Fat Man, and all the other sounds. But those are the main ones that stick out in my head. Other people may have other sounds around at the time, and I know a lot of the sound facilities of people listening right now would have experiences with Christopher. He was as you said, he was a people's man. He was a man of the community. He was a happy-go-lucky kind of guy. Because in previous videos and clippings, you'll find him on the microphone doing his thing, taking his mind back down to memory lane, and people would not criticize him for what he was doing because he was one of the pioneers that made the doors open for many of the other younger sounds from different decades come in and do their thing just like him.
Absolutely. Because you have to remember as well, he opened our house. Our house was like, Mum used to say, Lord, Daddy, broke up the house and extended the house like him, I run, and make a club. You get me? Because every week, the house was full with people and parties, and we had ups, and it was positive and negatives for us growing up, because they must send me upstairs to my bed. Where how can you sleep when you're hearing all this music? You know what I mean? And watch it. So what we did, we just stayed up and partied upstairs and watched the people them arrive, and and everybody came together. I couldn't go into town without people stopping me. So Sir Christopher Data down. Then I check. Sir Christopher Data down, because the day you host last week, Saturday the blues in night, the party was night, and things like that. So it was a community. It was open house. And we would when we wake up in the morning, we used to worry, so we had to step over and looking at one room, the front room, people are asleep, people are coming from Leicester, Manchester, London, and it was good times for us because we knew we had to call them like they were like mum's best friends, they were aunties, they were uncles, and it was time where we could just come and kind of say, right, we're free now, we can disappear, we can go run up and round because the house full of people and them not gonna remember about we, you know what I mean, and speak out and run up and down, you know what I mean, and things like that. And I can tell you about what happened to the sound as well afterwards, in terms of, as you said, the younger generations came through because we followed our fathers. We copied our fathers. We went to the dances. We copied them. My brothers watched my dad string up the sound. Do you understand me? And could play the sound until Andrew used to play the sound until the Stan Shanty come and take over, you know, and then Shanty would play the song until Daddy walk in at 3 o'clock in the morning with him briefcase and the latest dub plate from Jamaica producer, what's his name, the Harry Mooney, says you've been playing, you know, and have the latest cup. And Mum remember one dance when he walk in with Bob Marley, first release of War, and mash up the place. So, you know, everybody know they come in for something. You know what I mean? New and exciting, and what they're getting out of Jamaica or even America. Dad's come with the tunes. Because remember, he also had a record shop, you know, and sold the tunes from there and made people get what we couldn't get from like outlets in England at the time. Well, still now, but you know, from abroad, keeping that link with our roots and our culture. You understand?
Yeah, that record, as I said before in the early part of the show, that the record shop was on Worcester Street. Yeah, Worcester Street upstairs. Or did they have more than? Or did they have more than one?
I don't know. I just thought it was Salop Street, but you know, I'm not aware if it was around that side. Yeah.
Salop Street. And the reason I said that because I bought a record from him upstairs.
Yes.
And Ray Lewis was the man behind the counter.
That's right.
Working for him at the
That's
time.
right.
And it was a very nice shop, a very, very nice, clean shop.
Yeah.
You know,
yes,
so
I remember going in there.
Yeah. And it was good because that's the only sound system in Wolverhampton to have a record shop. I don't know any other sound in Wolverhampton to have a record shop. Probably, Genesis Records. Besides Genesis, a different generation.
That's right.
But Levi
That's
had a record shop on, for anybody knows, Worcester Street, where Monica's was. That's where Genesis had his record. So Genesis was the second one, but your dad was the first one I know of that had a record shop and did pretty well as well.
Yeah.
Now, over the years, you know, there used to be a place in Northampton.
Yes.
Once every 3 months or once a month, you know, the highlight of every sound system's highlight for entertainment, all right? And men and women of all different generations would dress up and go down to Northampton.
Absolutely. Yes.
Your dad wanted to be amongst the big boys because when he came to Northampton, it was all about the big sound then.
Absolutely.
Shaka, Quaker, Coxon, and your dad, Sir Christopher.
Yeah.
Those are the main four sounds that I keep hearing about all the time. Yeah. I could have been missing a couple others. Have you ever been to Northampton and been amongst all those big sounds with the big man them and the Dans and the Queens?
Yeah, as I said, I only went one time. That was my first dance, as I told you. And I think it was the Sound Clash. But Mum also told me that they all went to other places, you know, like Liverpool, dancing on the Mersey, Blackpool, down the Thames, you know, and, you know, Ben them there, used to have boat trip as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, and then man, them used to dress and look sharp, as you know, and the woman them have to look sharp too because, you know, it's a occasion. You know, and I remember that always in our two-piece, even just for the blues or for the dance, you know, they're dressing up and, you know, they're going all around the country, you know, every weekend. It was non-stop at certain times, you know?
I suppose it was a bit of a gamble for your dad to sort of pack up work and spend time just playing his sound. Did he have, to your knowledge, did he have any regrets about that?
Well, I don't think so because, you know, the only regrets that we had as growing up, we hardly saw him sometimes because, you know, like you get some jobs, you work away, you know, and then you come home on the weekends. Do you know what I mean? So it's like 24/7. Do you know what I mean? And my dad's like a entrepreneur, you know, a man where, you know, you've got to be out there to work money every day because you're not having a contract. You haven't got a monthly salary coming in. So therefore you have to be on the road. It's like a road, you know, a roadster, you know, from here to there, you know, bringing on the money, gone again, and it's back again, like a circle, you know. As I said, I remember my grandma saying, right, enough, come start move the house now around. And we're like, again, you know, and pick up with something them, and then in the morning, we had the cleaners, you know, we had come clean up and whatever. And in the back garden, I remember we had crates of drinks packed up, you know, because that designed the house. We even had a bar, and I remember when we clean up, we were so glad because we used to find money, and we used to remember them days that you take the drinks, them buckle guys shop and recycle them and get a couple more to get your little change, you know, and then we find all kinds of sitting, you know, what things we're not supposed to find. Can't talk it, but you know what I mean? Gunfire, you know,
of course,
and then things there. So you know, we used to cuss and stuff, but we never did a party, but we have to come clean up, you know. So you know, it was like a business. You understand what I'm trying to say? Where we were all kind of involved in some way, shape, or form, and that was like something that we could also build on. You know.
You know, back in the days, of course, being an entrepreneur, as you mentioned. I saw that you sent me some photos with some pictures of awards. Can you give us some details about these awards that he had, you know, picked up over the years?
I can only tell you some of the awards were like dance awards, and some after he finished playing.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, because at the memorial I had at the dance this year, a couple months ago, Studio City rang me and said, you know, I would like to give you, Dad, a award on a recognition of his music, because, you know, obviously, when a man gone, you never know what you have until it gone.
True, that's
you
right.
understand?
That's
and
right.
you have flashbacks and look back. So he said to me, when will I be able to give your dad this award? And it said awarded for the achievements and contribution to the sound system, spinning back well over 5 decades, it said, and it was given in 2026. So as Mum would tell you, he had other, you know, cups, sound clash and cup clashes that he won over the years, just as we did in our area as well. And then I had a phone call this week inviting me to come to the survival dance for the Rinrus Day in Birmingham on the 20th, to say that, you know, the man is, you know, the promoter, sorry, not the man, the promoter is recognizing people who are pioneers for the Windrush time, and my dad's name was mentioned, and he's looking for somebody to come and, you know, represent him at that day, and, you know, I was asked to come, and I will be there. So, you know, it's nice to know that people are remembering Dad, and, you know, how many years ago, and remembering that the fact that these you know, my man like my dad and Quaker and Coxon and all those foundation man, it's got to be remembered, and because it's part of our Black history. You understand?
Yeah, that's right.
That we have to kind of make sure now that the youth kind of understand it and see it and recognize it and carry it on. Because my worry now is for my grandchildren. But my dad made it kind of that, you know, he wasn't there for himself. He was there for other people to as a role model to follow and to preserve our community and our Black history and our roots. And our music is what gets us through life, you know?
Yeah, obviously the music itself played a big part for everybody's enjoyment at the time. And of course, when they came over from the Windrush, a few of the guys brought their records with them as well. I don't know if any ladies brought in any records, but I know it's mostly men that brought their little records from Jamaica, and from there they had an idea to sort of create something huge, you know. But your father is amongst the legacy of many of the sound guys and everybody else in Wolverhampton who knows him for who he was and what he did for us. Great man to talk to. We can get a chance to talk to him. But, of course, he left you lot with a legacy to carry. They said it's a hard road to travel, but a mighty long way to go. But your mind's made up. You're going to carry your father's legacy right through until such time. You had a memorial dance for him in Birmingham a couple months ago. All right.
Yeah.
What gave you the idea to come up with that idea?
Well, it even stems back to right now when I'm finding out. I remember Dad was also a producer. You understand? And he produced his records and had his label as well. And he said certain things to me not long before he passed. And it was like sadness because, you know, my dad never perfect. My daddy never always walked straight. You understand me? My dad was a shrewd businessman. My dad used to do things that I used to think, Dad, you can't do that. I'm like, daughter, I want life, may I live it. So I'm not really thinking about the future. until when it was towards the end, when you have flashbacks, you look back on your life and you say, Lord, we should have done this, and we should have done that, and rare. And I can't say everything because he's not here for me to say, Dad, can I tell people this, what you said? Because it was tears in his eyes when you look and you think, I should have done this and whatever, investments and things like that. So there's things that he said to me that came to me. And when I was putting this thing together, I said, right, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that to kind of honor his word. And I had a vision and a vibe that came to me. And I said, right, I'm going to put this together. And this is what I want to happen. And I remember I can't take credit for the award part of the memorial dance, because it was actually Father always said to me when I said to him, right, this is what I want to do. I want to make sure we have speeches because we were supposed to have done it at the funeral and it didn't happen. I want to make sure that I can have the mic to do this and to do that. And he said, well, why don't you also give the man them, the veteran man them like Coxon and Quaker award, and if anything you can give me two. And I said, well, that sounds a good idea. So I took it one step further and made it say, right, we're going to honour the legends or the pioneers and the starters of the sound system, and then honour and respect the ones who have carried it on, like Archie D, like Skipper, and I gave one to Elvis as well, to make them understand and recognise the fact that we are lucky. You understand? That those men them carry on from what our dads set up for us and gave us enjoyment in life when we got through racism and we were relieved with stress and everything, and these men are carrying them on. So I said, well, right, what's going to happen when these men are no longer here? We're now in our middle life. You understand? And tomorrow don't promise to no one. So who's going to hand the button next over? So we want to establish certain things to carry on, which are not carrying on. Because I even had a flashback when he even asked me to do this, and what my memories of my dad. One of my first memories of the sound was going to the park. Yeah, remember back in the park in the summer, we'd go and play in the park. We'd go to the park and the sounds would be all set out in the park. Yeah. And when the fear come, we quick time the money done. We said the them come. We have to go now. Money's finished. We're gonna go and listen to the sound, and we're gonna go. You can go and play in the free area. But because the park did that, and the park dry, Godfather dry. And the little 30 pound one, me said me I take for the grandpity them. It done in no time. I have to take out the card, and then I'm thinking, come, we're going to the park now. And I'm thinking, back in the day, we had the sound systems out. You understand me? And the next generations, we did that as well. Remember back in the day, we used to go at the park and I feel with time too. And when we have Bilston Carnival set up, Wolverhampton should have a carnival. You understand me? Wolverhampton should set up and have certain things for the youth, them now to pass on and to carry on. What we've got. So this is that was the vision that came to me.
To that answer there, and what you were talking about that, what flashback to me was a time where, of course, all the youth clubs and all the things are all closing down. And you understand what I'm saying? That's one of the debates they've been having on TV recently. They've took away all this energy that could have gone back into the youth clubs for the kids to learn how their fathers and mothers were once part of a youth club, and now there's no youth club there. What does the mothers and fathers do now to replace that time of rebuilding and having memories and playing table tennis and rounders and basketball and having sessions with different youth workers? Now, the youth workers now, where are most of them nowadays?
Exactly.
If there's no youth clubs, there's no youth workers, are there?
Exactly. Yeah. And this is what's one of the things they say could be linked. Well, this is my opinion, to link to the fact that we've lost our children and we've lost our youths, and the fact that we didn't carry on some of the things that was handed on to us. They took away the youth clubs. Did we fight for that? We accepted that? Yeah. You know what I mean? And then now, my mum was saying she didn't even want to come on road again. Come out to dance because they're nothing like their dances or my dad's dance in the time.
There is nothing like that. Nothing like that.
She said she tired of go out and see empty space and in the middle of the dance. She said dance you so ram, we can't move, it hot, and man up draw a woman, she said she didn't worry about daddy I play the song because man I pull out 5 man at a time, I pull out 1 time for dance. Nowadays you hardly see that. And our generation, we were saying, did they see that? Do they see that? Do we know what they're doing? How they, everybody gone different way, and that community oneness, and we have to remember as well, we have to take some responsibility to the fact that as we grow up, we have to practice what we preach, unity and love. You know what I mean? And forgiveness, because even though Mum said yes, the blues used to mash up sometime and fight broke up, but nobody not really died or got seriously injured. You know, look what's happening out there. You know, so if we can we can put something in place before we gone, if we say we are carry we roots, we carry on something like what it used to be like, it's better than nothing or not trying at all. You know?
Well, I must say, after what you just said there, setting up the foundation for Sir Christopher, for the fact that from nothing to something, that there are people out there that can do something for somebody in terms of how the youths recognize the history behind sound. Now, as I mentioned about the youth clubs, and workshops are a very important thing for many of the youngsters in terms of how these sound systems come along. We can find all this information on the YouTube and type in all these things, but you know, to find somebody directly who's involved and can show them what things are like. I know there's a group in I think it's Bradford. Got a sound system for all the artifacts of merchandises of history of stuff that they used to use for sound system. Valhampton, I think we spoke to them twice on this platform. And it's like, where do the kids go for that? Realistically, you can go to Liverpool and find the slavery history here, so and Deso and all these things. Catch a coach. Look at, there's nothing for the sound system that brought your mother, your grandparents, us, and everybody else together. Sound system has changed such a lot. Such a lot. Even down to the records, people don't walk with record boxes too tough unless it's a specialized vinyl event. You know. Now, I've heard a lot from you. Enough respect, and I'm sure the listeners out there are saying the same. Enough respect to Jackie. She talked the talk. I would love to hear from your brothers Andrew and Gary, but never mind, another time. But at the same time, your mother. Now, your mother was the closest thing to your father. And you mentioned a few things that your mom mentioned about, you know, back in the days, dance did nice. Everybody put on them good shoes and them, you know, everybody go to work and look forward to a dance. So Christopher playing, representing the town. Your dad had no problems with any other sounds in Wolverhampton because they all knew where their place was. Your dad had his own lane. Now, when you said he had a record label, what was the name of his record label?
Well, I found some records saying Sir Christopher or Jack Christos.
Okay.
I can't remember anything else besides that. That's what comes to mind, and I've got some of them here. I just haven't had time to dig them all out and search them out or whatever. But obviously, he left quite a few things behind. So I'm like sitting there thinking, what am I going to do with these you know, and stuff, because I'm sure Andrew would give you his side on the side of the stuff that you know, when the sound was finished, you know,
we would have loved to hear that side, seriously, because I've spoken to Andrew back in the days, and some of the stuff he told me I've forgotten, but he had a good conversation about his father and the things that used to go on and the songs that come down and all these things,
But you know, Godfather, everything comes to an end, and obviously we had up and coming sound. Your sound, the Skippy and Lippy era came in and everything, and obviously, you know, the older generation was making more room now for the younger generation. You know, we had lots of sound in Wolverhampton as well, Crab Fly and all them sound that come on as well, because it's them time now, you know, and Andrew wanted to carry on the sound, but obviously Andrew was young as well, and, you know, my brother had it as well, and, you know, other man come in, we used to string up the sound in the garage, at the back of Lee Road and the back of the alley, and with all the different old friends come from different parts of the country, I mean, the area, you know, and then I like no segregation, like, no, we were one, and man come and play upon the sound and run out them little talent and test on little talent. Then it took it to Saints and things like that. But then things kind of got a little bit distorted. I think, I don't even remember man like Bumpy, Linford and Dickie, them man that wanted to come in now and join up with another sound called Jah Love, and things, you know, was set in a way, but it didn't kind of manifest how we would have liked it to carry on. Dad's sound, you know what I mean? And then Dad found the sound, and then, you know, obviously, you know, Andrew was a little bit upset because he wanted to carry on Dad's, you know, work and make the sound into something and carry on, as you know, would like families and youths to follow in your father's and mother's footstep kind of thing.
Yeah, yes,
So
yes.
that was the kind of arguments, that kind of issues which were around, that kind of got a bit of a roasting about. But and you do things that we weren't probably happy about. But Dad was a man that he not care when people want to say him do what him do, he might live him life and him not care. But sometimes now you look back and realize that yes, we should have probably done things a little bit better, and things would have probably been in a better way for us to carry on certain things. But for me, I can only talk about my inspirations for me as well, of not just the sound system, but for my career. You always wanted us all to have a vision in life, to be doing something. And another one of the visions that came back to me was the fact that when my dad come, he wasn't kind of a strict kind of man that talk and run up in mouth. He would run up in mouth with the big people then, but with us, he would sit us down occasionally. And I remember him saying to me, what you want to be in you have to have a profession, what you want to be. And I said, I want to work with children, Dad. And my dad said, all right, daughter, come. And my dad took me to Birmingham. There was a nursery called Marcus Garvey Day Nursery, the first black nursery in Birmingham. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Back in the day, and him part of me outside him said, this is run by with family. And I remember him saying to me, her name is Sybil Morgan, go in there and she's going to give you some work experience and see if this is what you want to do. And if this is what you want to do, you have to go to college. And that's what I did. I remember going in there, and when I see the woman, I said, Lord God, favor me daddy. And then people looked at me and said, oh my God, you and Miss Sybil is the same. And from that then, I built my career. Do you know what I mean? And he did that for not just me, but even for my brothers who were saying, well, okay, Dad, you set us up to do certain thing, and then that was kind of taken away. It was a little bit hurtful, but his intentions, sometimes you look back and think, I maybe shouldn't have done that, because, when money now come in, you try a thing, something else, and what you have to do, forget it, you go and try and do it, So, he was a man that kind of just banduli and kind of old school and just did things kind of in a way that if you look back and think, I should have looked at it in a different way and did it a different way, I
suppose in terms of him saying what he said about, I wish I did this and wish I did that, probably the information or details wasn't available at the time like how things are available for us right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But he was a positive role model. He set me on my career. He wasn't always there, but when I needed him, and this is the main thing, when you need a father, he was there. You know what I mean? Take you out of the, or the problem, or listen to your problem and cry and what have you. He would always try and make it better. And that's what I miss. And I'm glad that you kind of put the show on. We've moved the show back, and it's near Father's Day. So this is like my Father Day tribute to my dad. And I thank you so much for asking me and allowing me to do this, because I know if he's looking down on us, he would want us to remember him and remember his name, because that was one of the things he said to me. My name's supposed to be all over the place, and me should have this rare. So I'm trying to put those things into place for him, because when he died, he said, Data, I don't want too much balling. He got balling. Do you understand me? Because grief comes in different ways and shapes and form, and things that he asked me to do, I didn't get to do. So this is my way of doing it. You understand? It may work, it may not, but I've already had some good responses, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the people that came out. It's not easy driving to Birmingham, especially when, you want a drink and, the travel and the distance. And the fact that people, after the launch of the foundation, there was one or two people came up to me, one lady whisper, she says, I want to get involved with this for my son. And then another brethren, him don't live in here, I live in London. He sent me number, you take me up, anything you want. Then I had a phone call a couple of days ago, a sponsor says, Jackie, this is what I want to do myself, and I'm with you, and anything you want, we're there. And, that was so nice, so, oh my gosh, humbling, and made it all worthwhile, because it wasn't for profit, it wasn't for, gain, it was for a memory to keep that alive and to recognize and respect the things that he did for the community, and to put things in place to make us happy, and people get joy and remember those days. And obviously we do wish and long for those days. But I said to my mum, so that we got dance nice to us, but we do a dance with people go and enjoy the stuff. Don't think it's all doom and gloom. You get me? And I said, come on, you're going to that dance into what the promoter is invited me to, because it's for the elders, it's for you guys. We don't want the elders sitting down in the house doing nothing, just isolated, because there's a lot of people in pain and misery, but sometimes the brain cells will start dying now. So when they can get the flashbacks and the memories, that's a joy in their heart. That is something then to even reconnect with people they haven't seen. The joy of that night was seeing Brother Shanti, who come out, who's not very well.
Yeah.
And when I saw him, my heart was like, wow. Do you know what I mean? People that I hadn't seen for years. And I said, this is not just for the young people, it's for the elders, and for us to mix together and pass on what we've brought to this country as our community, what was for us and was being taken away. We want it back. You see me? Yeah? And I want my grandchildren to be safe. I'm trying to say, well, now, come on, is the time that we have to come together. We have to stop the war. We have to stop the killing. We have to do something. Yeah, because there's lots of people suffering. I could, in silence, I feel alone, isolated because of the gun and the knife crime and the hurt and the loss and the pain and the suffering. We have to remember we fought to be free. We fought from slavery. We fought for civil rights. Remember, when we talk about black history, we think about Marcus Garvey and Martin Luther and them. We have to talk about what's happened now and what was set in stone for us or left in place for us to follow and hasn't been followed because what? Sometimes we come together, we don't practice, we preach, we broke up, we mash up, and that's it. We've got to come together and forgive and move on and say, because our youth,
the same roundabout. We keep going around the same roundabout all the time. Saying this and saying that, it still come round to the same thing. 10 years later, same roundabout.
Yeah, but my dad always had a place, Godfather, for people to come. Do you understand what I'm saying? To come together, or they would find him. You know what I mean? It wasn't just for the old or his age. It was for the youngsters as well. Chris, I look and work hard. I can DJ, I can play for this, I can do something. All right, try a thing. Let me see what you can do. You know what I mean? He was there to offer help and support and do what he could do for anybody, young or old.
Yeah, I met a man, and he drives a lorry, and he lives out in the country somewhere. He said, I said to him, where's that? And he says, not too far from Bristol. So anytime me want to do any entertainment or me want to go and dance, I had to come to Bristol. I say, So when you mention Bristol to me now, it's a man it's an elderly man, a big man, grew up hunting on some serious dreadlocks. I remember when he working, them safety helmet hat. We don't know how that fit upon him head, but it fit upon him head. And I was there just watching him at work, and it's like there would be anybody else who would have actually made contact with him the way that I did. So I said to him, yo, bro, we're going, Pops, everything good? And when he heard me talk like that, he knew basically I'm coming from some ends, from somewhere.
Yeah.
And when he told me basically where he was from, and he had to go to Bristol for his entertainment, I said to him, all right, Bristol. Yeah. I said, a man named Sir Christopher. I said, yeah, man. What you mean? Of course we know Sir Christopher. You know what I mean? Most of them, man, who we don't know about, or in the dark corners of the world, they know of Sir Christopher.
Yeah.
Highly respect him. I hear a man say anything bad about. Everybody have some good ways and some bad ways, but I never hear anybody talk about Christopher in a bad way.
Yeah.
As you said before, he will tell you why you think about it there and then and in gone, and tomorrow is another day. But if you want to carry that hill feeling, you go on with it.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, to talk about Bristol, I wasn't there in the early parts of the days, but, it was a restaurant, but it turned into a shubeen. It turned into a dance. People had parties there, and I heard that people used to queue outside to come in, and then when I was there, I walked in, I was like, what is this? I said, Dad, when do people go home? Why, Dad, this is a 24/7, I have 24/7 license, and it don't close. And I'm like, but Dad, it's a restaurant.
Wow.
No, when the people finish club, them come in here for food, and we give them entertainment as well, daughter. You understand? So, and then entertainment, I can come and buy them things as well. So I was doing everything. And I remember that I only came there for like a weekend, you know. I only came there for a little bit of help and support. And Dad said, not coming on my hand, we have to work for it, you know. And he said, but you can't work, you know. And the next thing I know, I had a job, you know, every weekend. And then I realized, you understand?
Yeah.
And I realized how my dad moved from town to town and left his mark, set up his business and dealt with I remember serving the food later night. This English guy came and the curry goat had sold out. And he said, do you know I've just come from Wales and there's no food left? And I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? Go and start cooking curry goat and rice now? I said, I'm sorry. Do you know what I mean? Kind of thing. But the disappointment on his face. And then I realised it wasn't just like a black community or black food shop. All kinds of people came to the shop.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? For our Caribbean food, you know, white, black, Indian. And then when the Somalians came over, they were in there 24/7. And I said, Dad, you can't let all these people come in and do what they're doing. Dad, you know, so well, boy, I'm safe. Me have bulletproof windows, so they didn't come make trouble with me. Me ready for them. You know what I mean? He had it set.
Wow.
You know, he had it set away, and the next no man at open shop, and next competition come and rare, and things like that happen. So, you know, he was was a businessman. He was a hardworking, couldn't sit down. This is why sometimes, you know, my poor mum suffered. He was all over the place, you know, and it caused, you know, issues and, you know, but he had his life to live and he lived it to the fullness, and certain things that he's left behind. I'm now at my age now taking on board, and those words are in my head every day to say, well, right now, you know, tomorrow don't promise to no one. Just live your life.
Well, let me say one thing to you. All right.
Yes,
now, the thing is this now. The legacy should continue. And you know for a fact you'll make it. If it's large today and small tomorrow, it's still a legacy. And all those people that came to the event in Birmingham a few months ago, tremendous turnout. Tremendous, because that place is a big place. And you fooled it with your dad's memories. And everybody that came there because of the memories.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they would like to say to you, thank you very much for bringing me back to the days when I used to dance like this and wear certain clothes like this. And as much as we have Vinyl Sunday, many of the guys from out of Wolverhampton are representing the legacy from, of course, Sir Christopher. You can't let for Christopher. Everybody know Christopher. Just mention the name Sir Christopher. But you've done such a wonderful job doing what you're doing even today. A lot of people out there would say, go on, Jackie, you talk for your father. Yeah, man, I love what you said this, I love this and all these things. And I just want to say thank you for having me to talk to you about a man that I grew around and saw all the time. And I grew up amongst sound systems, and I saw that sound play in Civic Hall Town Centre when he brought his sound in there and he was playing on a reel-to-reel.
Yeah.
Remember the reel-to-reel he had?
Yeah.
It was a reel-to-reel dance against another sound from Wolverhampton, come from Wensfield. He's no longer with us, but yeah, man. And some big boxes, and I said, yo. And then big valve humps and all these things. That's my memory still of Sir Christopher on a big scale. But Jackie, any last thing you want to say about the interview and also what you got planned for the next couple of months or years to come?
It's not everything good for talk. So I want to leave it like we did with the element of surprise at the foundation, especially the meal part. And I just put a launch, and I want to do something similar, but open it up to everybody instead of just. And I'm sorry, I apologize to the people that I had to kind of turn away because I didn't expect people to take up all of the places and more. For the people who've asked me and said we need to do this every year, I'm going to try to do that, try and see what funding we can tap into and what help and support we can get. But there are a few things that I want to keep close to my chest, but to say I want to try certain things and you know, obviously people have said, yes, we're going to support you. I just hope that those words and actions manifest, because unity is strength, you know, no man is an island, you know, and no man stands alone. So together, with Bill, and hopefully we can do that. And so thanks again, and for the help, the support, the family. Obviously, I'm speaking on behalf of the family as well, not just myself, to say that, for those who miss Dad, who appreciate Dad, who respect Dad, and honor his memory. I mean, I had so much, especially the day after the memorial, the messages, because there was a little bit issue before the night we finished, and I felt a little bit deflated, and you think, and then the feedback to give me the inspiration, the calls and messages. I mean, even Skipper sent me a lovely message about getting his award and how it will stand proud amongst the rest, and how, a good job that we did. So I just want to say thank you to those people. It meant a lot to me and the family. And looking down, hopefully now some of the things that he's asked me to do, I can do, and I've started to do.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time and your love as well for the people. I'm sure they've respected you today on this platform here right now. So we'll speak another time, Jackie. But in the meantime, give me blessings to your mother as well.
I will. And to you, Godfather, thank you for keeping our culture, our history alive. You understand? Because some people might think, oh, well, this was happened years ago. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know what he's going on about. But, it's nice to know that you're recognizing and remembering through your roots, through your culture, all we grow, and getting that message and keeping that message across to the community.
You set a standard where, a daughter can talk about their father with pride. And I'm sure for when it comes to Father's Day, you'll always have that pride for your father, regardless of what people might think about their father. Represent your father, hold up the banister high. Your father's your father. You know what I mean?
But he was always a man that proud them kids and bring up in Chris and boys. See my daughter, she done Rasta, me never want me to be Rasta, but she listened to me, she go to college, and big, do you know what I mean? And go on them things.
Yeah.
And our fathers as well, proud of us, but it's nice to know that, we've got to remember these things, as role models to be positive in life.
Of course. Okay. Thank you. Jackie, thank you for your time. Enough love, enough respect over time. All right? Respect. Bye-bye.
Are you ready?
There you have it, Jackie Morgan there, representing the Morgan family and her father, Sir Christopher. I tell you, what a conversation. Well, we've come to the end of the show. We've got about another 4 minutes to go before we say God bless, take care. For the Morgan family, this one. Okay. Gotta say good afternoon to all the people who've been in tune. From the start of the show, from 11 o'clock till this time. We finished at 2 o'clock. Stand by for the Big Band Captain at 2 o'clock till 5. And then from 5 o'clock till 7:30, of course, Valentine in the music room. Melody Sunday, and after that, the man with the walking stick plays no funny tricks. Man called Mr. Fix. And looking after him, Sir George in the house from the Liquor Island, somewhere in the Caribbean. So until that time next week, God bless, take care, look after yourself. And I hope to bring you another interview. Ooh. It could be June Isaacs. I'm on my own this week, so I can do something. I'm going to start it this week. Yeah, man, June Isaacs. We'll go for it next week, Sunday, if we can. If we can, all right? I tell you. Sounds of Moody's. It may sound silly, but it ain't silly on Sunday. Shout out to Mr. Campbell and all the Rising Star crew. Big up on yourself. I saw the the information. Shout out to all the Vibes Cartel who've heard Vibes Cartel saying thank you to the Heritage Centre in Wolverhampton. Yeah, man, for their contribution towards the Melissa Hurricane in Jamaica. Yeah, man, salute every single time, I tell you. So on behalf of Skyline and Radio, and behalf of as well, saplay.org and the YouTube, it's God bless, take care. Till next time, next week. If you can't be good, be careful. God bless. Bye for now.